Hi, I'm Xingchen, and this is my IMA Capstone midterm presentation. I'd like to first talk about how my research during last semester contributes to my current project. My project is a storytelling game that recreates the traumatic experiences of adults who witnessed domestic violence or unhealthy verbal conflicts at a young age. Through this game, I hope to evoke players' empathy with this neglected group of victims. After exploring various existing empathy games and experimenting with 3D modeling, I decided to adopt a 2D hand-drawn visual style and use P5.js combined with HTML and CSS to implement the game, which I am more familiar and comfortable with. Next, I want to discuss my vision of this game. Inspired by the well-known storytelling game Florence, and my past experience of writing down my thoughts to let out the negative feelings brought by my parents' fights, I depicted the process of the protagonist, who is now an adult, reading through her diary book and reliving all the times when she witnessed her parents' fights. Every 2 pages document a specific scene or event that greatly influenced the protagonist by a minigame or puzzle, requiring input from the player to help mimic or reveal the protagonist's thoughts or actions. And only after the texts are completed will the player be able to turn to the next page. This following table explains the specific event each page is assigned to and how the player will interact with the game. Basically, the story is divided into 3 different stages, where we can observe how the protagonist gets affected differently as the conflicts between her parents become more common and fiercer. There's a hidden stage as well, which is the present. The reason why she opens the diary again is that she is witnessing another fight between her parents in the reality, and she is trying to use this tree hole to get through it, as she always does. Also, here's the mood board for this game. The dark tone helps create a depressing atmosphere, while the contrasting colors with high saturations can reinforce the depicted conflicts. My progress so far is twofold. I've been creating the basic visuals and coding interactive prototypes using P5.js at the same time. Visual-wise, this is the basic user interface. While the diary book is the main medium to interact with, the photo underneath it and the AirPod on the right side are also interactable and significant to the entire story. In terms of coding, I reorganized all the possible interactions and have implemented the key ones. Here are the video demos of what the 7 crucial interactions are like. Please note that the images and illustrations I'm using here are not necessarily the ones that will go into the final version of my game, and the lines on pages on the left will be replaced by actual texts. So these are only for demonstration purposes. Finally, let's take a look at my future plans. From next week to week 13, I'm going to complete 3 to 4 pages of the diary by creating polished visuals and combining existing codes in parallel every week. During the last 2 weeks, I will spend my time producing sound effects and background music for this game, as well as preparing for the Capstone show. To better evoke empathetic responses from players, I'm planning to have every player really experience what the protagonist is going through at the show. So I will make a door and maybe some walls out of cardboard to create an isolated space as the protagonist's room, where she hides from the ongoing fight between her parents and reads the diary. The player will put on a pair of headphones while the noise of the parents shouting will be playing from some device in the corner of the space, which can be a phone or a speaker. This is to mimic the protagonist's action of cutting off all the sound from the conflict. And the player will play the game on the computer as if reading the diary. If conditions permit, I believe that this will bring the feelings of immersion from the player to the maximum, which is a key step to empathy. And this is the end of my presentation. Thank you so much for listening.